Good morning, Saints. I'm just here on a Sunday morning. It's nice and quiet and peaceful. Kids still sleeping. Thought I'd give you a quick update on what I've been doing. So there's a video that's dropping today. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I thought I'd film a quick one before things get started this Sabbath. I wanted to talk to you guys about my favorite YouTubers, my favorite Latter-day Saint YouTubers. Just in case you guys are looking for some more channels, some that are entertaining, some that are very informative. I'll tell you my very favorite. And this one might shock you guys. You guys may not have heard of it. This channel is called Missionary Discussions by Travis Anderson. And man, I have watched every single episode of Missionary Discussions by Travis Anderson, aka the Pirate King, aka the meanest Mormon on the internet. This guy's awesome. He's not actually mean, but he is feisty. If you come at him with something crazy, he is going to come right back at you. And he is very bright. I mean, very intelligent, very well read, and has a way of being able to break down the information so that the person he's talking to understands. So usually what happens on this channel is that missionaries who are having trouble with an investigator, um, they will contact Travis Anderson and schedule a Zoom call with him that will be recorded, and a tent what ends up happening is really, really interesting conversations come about. I kind of joke that it's where investigators go to die because I probably don't foresee these investigators continuing to investigate, because usually the people that come to him are the ones who are trying to really Bible bash with the missionaries beyond what the missionaries are capable of. What most people don't understand is that missionaries, these are 18-year-old kids. These are not theologians. They're not very well read or very well versed. They are just priesthood holders that are there to invite you to read and to pray and to be baptized. That's pretty much it. So Travis Anderson, I really like his style, by the way. So what he tends to do is, first, kind of the investigator will start to come at him with these concerns, and Travis Anderson will deconstruct these concerns really quickly, because most of these concerns have been dealt with for decades. And then he starts to talk to them about their beliefs, and he starts to break down their epistemology. And really, what it seems like he's trying to get at is to get some of these people to recognize that a lot of them are basing their beliefs off of their subjective feelings and not off of objective evidence, which, when it comes down to religion, tends to be true for all religions. At some point, there's just not enough objective evidence, and you have to choose whether or not you want to believe or not. So check out Missionary Discussions if you haven't already. The second one, of course, you have to give a place for Ward Radio. And that includes Ward Radio and Women of Ward Radio, because both are very good. So when I was out of the game, I'd been out of the church, inactive, that is, for over a decade. And I started to go back to church just a little bit, and I wanted to dip my toes back into the culture, back into Latter-day Saint culture a little bit. And I found Midnight Mormons. Back then, they were called Midnight Mormons. And I found Cardinellis and Kwaku and Jonah Barnes and Luke Hansen and all these guys. There's a whole bunch of them that show up, and they just kind of brought me back into that culture of, hey, let's talk shop. Let's talk inside baseball. Let's what is it? The things that we have some issues is, what are the things that we really like? And it just reminded me of hanging out with the boys, and just talking about the gospel in a casual setting. And it kind of made me feel like I had Latter-day Saint friends again. And so, yeah, I really liked Word Radio. I would say I would give them some credit on helping me become active again. It wasn't the first thing that led me to being active in the church again, but it was during the process for sure. So shout out to Ward Radio. Third one would be Thoughtful Faith. Okay, that's Jacob Hansen, and Jacob Hansen. Oh man, it's funny because he's not the scholar, that you would appeal to. He's not the person who's writing all the books and doing all the scholarship, but he is the one who really like communicates the scholarship at very well, so a lay person like myself can understand. And he is a really good debater. He's had some great debates that you can check out, and he also has had a lot of other really good breakdowns about gospel related issues, about philosophy, about theology that have been really good. I've been really enjoying his Joseph Smith videos that he's been doing recently. And so you have to give a place to Thoughtful Faith. Somebody, I was just in one of my earlier videos, I was addressing a Jacob Hansen when he debated Trent Horn. That really, I think, launched him into a higher sphere of influence on YouTube, because Pints with Aquinas and Trent Horn are, they're big dogs. They're big dogs in the Catholic apologetic sphere. And so it was funny because I was seeing online before, they're like, oh, Trent Horn is going to stomp this guy. He's going to stomp him, because Trent Horn, this is what this guy does for a living. He's got degrees in this. And Jacob Hansen is just some dude. And yet Jacob Hansen totally stood his ground and put out a great performance. And if you look at the comments, there are Catholics and Protestants that are admitting that the Latter-day Saint, Jacob Hansen, did a good job. So check him out if you haven't. Number 4 is Church History Matters. That's Scott Woodard and Casey Griffiths. I know Casey Griffiths is a church historian, and I know Scott Woodard, he might teach seminary or institute, but both are really good. This is a branch of Scripture Central, and I really, really loved it. It is very informative. I think it's top notch when it comes to history. This is also one that if you don't necessarily have to watch, you could just listen to it while you're driving, while you're commuting, and still get a lot out of it. So check them out for sure. Number 5, this is a newbie, but it's going to be a good one. I just know it. Okay. This is Informed Saints with the Rapleys, Jasmine and Neil Rapley, who are a powerhouse apologetic couple. Jasmine Rapley has her own show as well. So I think she has her own YouTube. Check her out. And Neil Rapley is a Book of Mormon researcher, and he's done really good. He did a really good response to Trent Horn's video about the plates not being big enough to hold all the words for the Book of Mormon. And Neil Rapley did a response to that and nailed it. Really good. And also on this channel is Stephen Smoot. I think Stephen Smoot is probably going to be the biggest up-and-comer, the biggest apologetic person that's coming up on the space. He is a scholar. I believe that his specialty is Egyptology. And I read his book. It's Understanding the Book of Abraham, I think it is. I'll show it up here, but it's really good. It's really good, and he's fantastic. So any chance you get an opportunity to listen to Stephen Smoot in a podcast or a YouTube channel, you should do it. You should do it. So that's my top 5. Check these guys out, but I want to give a couple honorable mentions, okay? I want to give an honorable mentions to the young guys that are out there. These young guys, man, I think these guys are going to change the church. These guys are in their 20s and they are already way smarter, way more intelligent, way more well-read than I am. It's amazing. These guys, there's all those in favor with Cade and Baylor. These guys are awesome, great production value already, and they, if you're somebody who is in their 20s, this would probably be someone to recommend. But I still love them, even though I don't understand half of the slang that they use because I'm an old guy. These guys are awesome. You can tell that they're really, really engaging with our scholarship and with the scriptures in a serious way, and I think people will find them very interesting. The second is the Rational Theology podcast by LJ. I don't remember if this guy's studying theology or if he's studying philosophy, but he's very bright, and his channel's very good, and you can just tell this guy's gonna be a beast. Okay, he's only in his 20s. He's a young dude, and he's already so bright. I mean, the sky's the limit for this kid. And the third, last but not least, is Restored Truth. This guy has mainly done TikTok, but he is putting his stuff on YouTube lately. I don't do TikTok, so I have actually found him after he has started putting his stuff on YouTube. I don't know his name because he hasn't really said it, but his channel is Restored Truth, and he gets into discussions with people on TikTok and discusses the gospel. And he, like Travis Anderson, does not hold back, okay? So if you guys get offended a little bit by the combative nature of discussions, then, I don't know, maybe you guys won't like Travis Anderson and Restored Truth, but I'm telling you, you have to tune that out and just listen to the arguments that they're making, because they're good arguments and you can use them. And I don't see it as a problem when people are engaging in a discussion and it becomes a little heated, because it's like a boxing match, okay? You don't blame the guys for punching each other in the face. That's what they're supposed to do. They don't have the spirit of contention. That's just part of the game. And that's how I feel about these two. These guys are not being combative just to be combative. They will be kind and respectful to people who are being kind and respectful. But if the people want to up the ante, they're willing to divvy up. Anyways, guys, check these podcasts out. There's so much information out there. Until next time, saints, read, do good, and do it in the name of Christ.